Arsenal stepping up their interest in Brazilian baller Bitello. Yes, people, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, if you absolutely love being kept up to date with daily Arsenal transfer news vids, this is the place to be. Make sure you subscribe down below on my road to 4,000 subscribers, and importantly, hit the bell notification to get alerted whenever I post a new video. It's a win-win for both of us. And let me know in the comment section your thoughts on Bitello's potential move to Arsenal. I'd love to hear it. Let's not waste any more time and get straight into the tweet brought today by Punch Drunk Arsenal, saying this: Arsenal seriously interested in Bitello. We have it on good authority that Arsenal are very interested in Gremio midfielder Bitello, 23 years of age, with Edu working on this deal. The Gunners are using a similar scouting system to that of Gabriel Martinelli. Marcos Leandro is also of serious consideration. With Edu's contacts, Arsenal have identified the Brazilian market as a prime channel for them to secure top talent throughout the country. And let's be honest with you guys, yeah? This happens every single summer. Every single summer, Arsenal seem to sign a Brazilian player out of completely nowhere. Whether it was Martinelli in 2019, whether it was Marquinhos last year, or potentially Bitello this season, we always seem to get these gems out of nowhere. And look, to be fair, I don't mind the policy. I do believe every club during summer should go for one low risk, high reward signing like a Bitello. Because what, you drop less than 10 million on the player, they come from who knows where, like at every stretch of the globe you could find someone like this, man. That's like Brighton's scouting system. Brighton signed these ballers from absolutely nowhere from South American League, and they turn them into world beaters. So why not go for these youngsters from Brazil, give them an opportunity? Yes, the majority of them probably won't make it to the big leagues, but then every now and then you get a gem like Gabriel Martinelli, who Arsenal signed for 6 million from Ituano 4 seasons ago, and is now worth probably about 80 to 90 million. That's a massive return on investment. I mean, talk about return on investment like Warren Buffett on stocks. That's a bigger return on investment I've ever seen on Gabriel Martinelli. So why not? I don't mind this policy whatsoever, because I don't think it's going to take a massive chunk of our transfer budget whatsoever. And look, 23 years of age, obviously not the youngest of players. It seems nowadays that footballers are so young that burst into the scene. I mean, 23 years old a decade ago will be the next best thing, but nowadays you've got players at 18, 19, even 17, 16 doing amazing things. I mean, look at Ethan Nwaneri. He's burst into the Arsenal's first team squad now at only 16 years of age. Arda Güler, the Turkish wonder kid, got his move to Real Madrid at 18 years of age. So, look, 23 is not the youngest in the world, but that means he has got a little bit more experience. I've seen some highlights of him. Obviously, highlights and compilations mean absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. You could have a compilation of Yaya Snoga and he'd look like prime R9. So I'm going to take that with a pinch of salt, to be honest with you guys. But it's a youngster, comes from the Brazilian league, going to have bags of tenacity. Obviously going to be delighted to have the opportunity to potentially move to Arsenal Football Club. I don't mind the signing one bit. I don't think he will be starting many games in the Premier League or Champions League, but can give him a run in the FA Cup maybe, Carabao Cup as well, and see what makes of it. I just hope it's not one of those signings that hinders the rest of our transfer business, because in my opinion, I don't believe Arsenal should be done in terms of incomings. Yes, we've spent over 200 million this window already on Urian Timber, Kai Havertz and Declan Rice, but I still do believe Arsenal need at least another defensive midfielder or a striker. Ideally both, but I do understand money doesn't grow on trees. Arsenal will have to... I'd rather Arsenal spend a lot of money on one of those positions, whether it be a defensive midfielder or striker, than split 100 million across both of those positions and sign 2 okay players. Do you get what I mean? Let me know in the comments if you agree with that line of thought. I'd rather Arsenal spend 80 million on a top defensive midfielder or top striker than try and sign both for 40 million each. Because I do think we're at the position now where we need absolute killers in this squad. World-class players. World beaters, ones that will elevate us to that next level, just like Van Dijk and Alisson did for Liverpool. They didn't skimp on the cash when they signed those 2 players. They went and they spent the big bucks on those 2 players. They had 150 million to spend from the Coutinho money. They didn't waste it. They went straight, bang, Alisson, bang, Van Dijk. 2 players for the price of 1, and then they managed to go on to win the Premier League and Champions League from that. I think that's the position Arsenal in right now. We came mightily close to win the Premier League last season to Man City, the team that's the best team in Europe by a country mile. They won the treble and 3-peated in the Premier League en route. They absolutely demolished Bayern Munich and Real Madrid in the knockout stages of the Champions League. We came second to that team, and trust me when I tell you guys, we're not a million miles off. No matter what football Twitter might tell you, no matter what the media might tell you, we are not a million miles off Man City whatsoever. We just need a couple more top players, and I think then we'll build a proper squad. Because you don't need a squad of 25 people. You just need 18 to 20 top players, in my opinion. And Declan Rice, Urian Timber, Kai Havertz go a long way for that. if we sign a top CDM while letting go of Thomas Partey, and if we sign a top striker while letting go of Balogun and Nketiah, it's exactly what we need to do. Because there's 8 or 9 fringe players that are not good enough to be in the Arsenal squad that we should just let go of. Because they're not youngsters anyway. The likes of Rob Holding, Cedric Suarez, Nicolas Pepe, Nuno Tavares, players like that. Balogun and Nketiah potentially, Tierney, Thomas Partey. Players like that could go and bring you in a lot of money. Why not sell those fringe players, recoup 80 to 100 million, and then sign adequately? And people say, oh, you won't be able to sell those players. How are Chelsea able to do it? Chelsea have gone on to sell 10 of their deadwood. And they made a lot of money. They made at least 200 million from selling those players. The likes of Koulibaly, Pulisic, Havertz, Mason Mount, Edouard Mendy. They've sold all these players and made a lot of money from it. They've recouped a lot of the money they already spent in January last season. So it is doable. Eddie needs to roll his sleeves up. I know he's been cooking so far. I know he's got a lot of plaudits from the Arsenal fans, myself included. I will give him his flowers, but the window's not quite done. It's the 15th of July as I'm recording this. It's nowhere near September the 1st when it's deadline day. So Eddie's still got a lot of work to do. The job is not finished. As the late, great Kobe Bryant said, job's not finished. And that's what I'm thinking right now. So if it is to bring in Bitello, I don't mind it. I don't mind taking a punt on these Brazilian players every now and then. Have a little just risky one. Even Jakub Kiwior last January, that came out completely nowhere from the Italian league, from Spezia. And he's gone on to do decent, to be fair to him. I mean, starting into midfield, he looks at home there at left back, going into midfield. So Arteta seems to be doing wonders with these players. He's a really good man-to-man manager. I think Arteta, really good coach in that sense. I think he really thrives in coaching these players one-on-one, especially players that are willing to listen to him and improve their game. That's why I'm so delighted to see Declan Rice come in the door, because I love to see how Arteta can improve Declan Rice and take him to that next level, because no matter how good Declan Rice has done already, I still do believe he's got that next gear to go to, and hopefully Arteta can harness that and get the most out of Declan Rice. So, look, if Arsenal want to keep moving on to sign these new players, absolutely love the idea of that. I do understand that outgoings will have to come first, so I do anticipate that Arsenal will be selling before we bring in some top players. But along the way, why not bring in a gem or a supposed gem from the Brazilian league like Bitello? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section regarding Bitello. Have you seen any highlights of him like I have? What do you think? I've seen a little bit. Long shots wise, he looks decent. He's more of like an attacking midfielder / right mid as like a box-to-box midfielder. So look, why not, man? Like I said, it's not going to cost an awful lot of money. Probably around 8 to 10 million euros at most, which is, let's be honest, in the grand scheme of things, negligible in comparison to how much we're spending on Declan Rice, for example. So I don't hate the transfer one bit if we do push through for it, but I just don't hope it doesn't hinder us making other transfers. Like, don't sign Bitello and assume that, okay, that's our midfield done now. I still do believe we need a top tier CDM to come into the door, whether it is a Romelu Lavia, Tchouameni, Moses Caicedo. I want to bring a top dog into that defensive midfield, and I just hope Arteta identifies that alongside Edu and still gets that deal over the line. But I'd like to see the fact that Arsenal are moving in this transfer window, making signings early, before pre-season. That's exactly what we want to see at this football club. It's always best to get your business in early, as proven last season when we got Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus alongside Fabio Vieira in the door early, and it helped us start the Premier League season last year like a house on fire. We need to do the same thing. Nottingham Forest, that game is a month away now. It's going to come by very, very quickly. So we need to get moving, get really, really good pre-season results, good performance, get our fitness up, and I want to see Arsenal attack this new season because I want to see silverware come to my club. It's been way too long, in my opinion. I appreciate you guys all for tuning into this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like down below so it gets out to more people on the algorithm. Also, make sure you subscribe if you're new until my road to 4,000 subscribers, and hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future video on this channel. I've been Football. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and I hope to catch you all in my next one. Take care.